Up next, this is pair 35, Hanno Damen from the Netherlands in the inner lane, Inigo Vidondo from Spain in the outer. So Damen and Vidondo underway. Tight race as Hanno Damen falling in the inner lane, Vidondo going around him on the outer. Opening splits, 10-6 for Vidondo. Damen skated a 10-6 while falling. That's not the first time we've seen a skater fall right through the line on the opener. As Vidondo will finish strong. Inigo Vidondo will skate right to the line, his final time, 37:40. Hanno Damen falling through 100 meters. As her ice crew comes out one more time. They try to fix the ice here. We'll have a slight delay before the remainder of our pairs. Up next, Jumu Hara from Japan and Wojciech Kresnicki from Poland. Get a good look at competition organizer extraordinaire Greg Plannert. As they fill and flash freeze holes in the ice here. So stay tuned for more action here at the Olympic Oval. Men's 1,000 meters coming up this afternoon. Ladies 1Ks afterwards, followed by the ladies 5,000 and men's 10,000 meter. As it looks like we are ready to go with our next pair. This is Jumu Hara and Wojciech Kresnicki. And a false start after ice repair. That's the white flag, Jumu Hara in the inner lane, false starting. So the skaters will regroup at the line. Hara and Kresnicki. They will race 500 meters, half a kilometer. They will skate one straightaway and then a full lap. It's the shortest distance in Olympic-style long track speed skating. And they're off. Jumu Hara leading the way. His opening split, 10-3, 10-6 for Kresnicki. As these skaters are now into the last corner. Jumu Hara leading the way. Coming around on the outside. Kresnicki will make an attempt to catch the pair, but Jumu Hara will finish with a final time of 37:54. Kresnicki 37:56. So fast lap for Wojciech Kresnicki. Almost made up the deficit. As we move on to our next pair, this is Brage Bortnes from Norway, racing his compatriot Simen Kroken Two Norwegians here. And a false start. It did not look like it, but the starter is closest. Red flag is up. That was Kroken on the outer lane. False starting. Those skaters got a few big strides in it as they glid most of the way down the straightaway. So they will now loop around back to the start. Our Norwegian pair, Bortnes and Kroken, will try again. So the skaters line up again, ready to go here. Two false starts in two pairs in a row now. Oh, and that was a close one. Kroken looked like he may have false started. Starter let it go. They're underway. Kroken leads the way. His opening split 10-1, 10-2 for Bortnes. Quick openers here as they will cross over in the backstretch. Both skaters white, black, and green as they go into the last corner. That's Simon Kroken trying to hold the last corner. A lot of skaters struggle in the last inner at their top speed. Bortnes with the comeback. Final time of 37:09, 37:16 for Kroken. Up next, our 38th pair. Robert Winter from Alberta on the inner lane. Steve Smykel from the United States on the outer. If you want to look at a pairs list, you can go to oval.ucalgary.ca/competitions to see who's coming up. This is our 38th pair of 83. So just under halfway through the men's 500 meter. As these skaters are off now, through the line, neck and neck, 10-4 openers. As they skate down the backstretch, crossing over. This looks like Robert Winter pulling away. And he's looking strong down this home stretch. Driving to the line, Robert Winter's final time, 36:98. Just under 37, 37:84 for Smykel. Up next, pair 39, Adrian Hannigan from Alberta in the inner lane. Vettel Stangeland from Norway in the outer. Adrian Hannigan yesterday skated a mid 37 second 500, 37:56 was his time. Stangeland 37:73 on Thursday. Let's see if those skaters can beat those times. This is Hannigan leading the way through 100. 10-4 his opener, 10-8 for Stangeland. Into the final corner. Stangeland and Hannigan. Can Stangeland make up the ground as he swings really wide into the outer lane? Hannigan will take the race. 37:83. That's slower than yesterday. Stangeland 37:94. Up next, Bart Seffinga from the Netherlands in the inner lane. Magnus Nordfund from Norway in the outer. Large contingent of Norwegian skaters here racing finale. They come to Calgary for the fast ice. Also for the party on Sunday night. And it looks like Nordfin is racing on his own here, so Magnus Nordfin 10-4 his opener. Bart Seffinga scratch. So Bart Seffinga, who was on the start line, peeled off early. Obviously decided not to continue. Maybe he broke a piece of equipment as Marcus Nordfin will come to the, Magnus Nordfin will come to the line. 37.77 his final time. Up next, two Albertans. Frank Roth in the inner lane racing Max Halleck in the outer. Skaters in matching suits. As they are off from the 500, skaters try to get their feet moving really quickly off the line. They then have to transition throughout the 100 meters into full skating strides. 10-3 and 10-4 openers. They're into the final corner. Anyone's race at this point, down the last 100 meters. They are neck and neck, kicking the line. Their final times 20, 37, 13 for both skaters. So they tied to the 100th. Max Halleck took it by 2 thousandths of a second over 4 thousandths of a second over Frank Roth. Up next, Espen Nordfund from Norway and Cooper Emmen from Nova Scotia. Clean start for these guys. The bell goes through 100 meters. Nordfund has the lead. 10-2 his opener. 10-4 for Eamon. As the skaters try to keep low and stay efficient on that backstretch to find a balance between efficiency and lengths of stride and foot speed. Here comes Espen Nordfund at the line. His final time, 36.91. He beats Cooper Eamon, who skated a 37.39. As we look at our 43rd pair, this is Nicholas Turo from the United States. He's racing Robin Gruben from Norway. And a clear false start there on the inner lane from Nicholas Turo. Nicholas Turo yesterday skated a 37.81. Look for him to try to beat that today. Robin Gruben was just a little bit slower, 37.98. Well-matched pair, Turo and Gruben in our 43rd pair. Clean start the second time. Through 100 meters, Turo has the lead. 10-3, 10-5 for Gruben. Our coaches yell them on the backstretch. 500 meters, such a short distance. Coaches only get to see the skaters once. That's Grubin trying to hold that last inner. Often a challenge for skaters who come from overseas. They skate on slower ice at sea level. Turo took that race, 37.61, 38.20 for Grubin. The skaters come from elsewhere in the world, racing on slower ice. And they hit the fast, high-altitude ice here in Calgary, and they struggle to hold their speed in the final corner. This is Jonah Utsubies from Ontario in the inner lane, Garrett Gledhill from Manitoba in the outer. And it's the inner lane, Jonah Utsubies, 10:51, 10:54 for Gledhill. So tight race through 100 meters as they're on the backstretch now. Should be an interesting race. Who has the faster lap? And it's close down the final stretch. Gledhill has a slight lead. Gledhill to the line, his final time, 37.50, 37.64 for Jonah Utsubies. Moving on to our next pair, Christian Gawek from the United States is in the inner lane. Caleb Mueller from Alberta in the outer. And they're underway through the first couple meters. Both skaters looking strong. Transitioning to those full skating strides. Caleb Mueller in the outer lane will take the opener. 10-5, 10-6 for Christian Gawek. So Caleb Mueller trying to set up a big draft on this backstretch. They will cross over quickly, though. No draft. As it looks like Christian Gawek kicked the cone going into that corner. He might be disqualified. Christian Gawek will cross with a time of 37.77, 38.11 for Mueller. But we will have to await the final results to see if that kick of the cone going into that last corner will cost Christian Gawek his race. The rule is that skaters may not cross the inner line at any point during the race. The cones are placed inside the line, so if any skater hits a cone, their blade has actually moved over that line and they are technically cutting track. So we have a brief delay here for ice repair as they replace the cone and double check to make sure there are no gouges in the ice. That was Christian Gawek and Caleb Mueller in the last race. Up next, Joshua Talizen and Simon Coots. And it looks like they are underway and ready to start. Talizen and Coots called to the line now. Two Canadian skaters. And they're underway. It is close through 100. It looks like this is the inner lane. Talizen taking the opener, 10-4, 10-7 for Simon Coots. as they move to the backstretch. 200 meters to go for Joshua Tleason and Simon Coots. Joshua Tleason's time yesterday, 38:18. Let's see if he can beat that here as he leads the way to the line. Joshua Tleason, final time 37:60. Big improvement over yesterday. Simon Coots, 38:03. Simon Coots, half a second faster than yesterday. So good times there in that last pair. As we move on to our next one, this is Jack Dybert from Alberta, on the inner lane. Martin Sorslet from Norway on the outer. Clean start for Sorslet and Dybert. Through 100 meters, Sorslet has the lead, 10:6, 10:8 for Dybert. They cross over on the backstretch. Dybert starting on the inner, moving to the outer. Let's see if Sorslet can hold this last inner. He does a good job, but Dybert has a commanding lead to the line. His final time, 38:01, 38:74 for Martin Sorslet. As we look at our next pair, Ethan Sepurin from the United States in the inner lane. Thomas Mélin from France in the outer. So we see Ethan Sepurin carving a big hole into the ice to put his finger in. Some skaters who do these downstarts do that to give themselves a better grip. They're off cleanly. This is Thomas Mélin leading the way. It's tight though. Mélin 10:94, 10:96 for Sepurin. Thomas Mélin, a former short track skater from France, training now at the Olympic Oval for long track. He competed at the World University Games this year. And they're neck and neck down the home stretch. Anyone's race at this point, kicking the line. 38:43 for Ethan Sepurin. 100th over Thomas Mélin, 38:44. So that was a close race between both skaters. Well matched. As we have a look at our 49th pair, John Hrinchuk from Manitoba in the inner lane, John Sullivan from the United States in the outer lane. Which John will win? As they're through the first 50 meters. Looks like Hrinchuk who has the lead. 10:42 his opener. 10:82 for John Sullivan. Sullivan has some ground to make up over this lap if he wants to beat his pair as they cross over in the backstretch. Sullivan on the last inner. Hrinchuk last outer as they come around. Hrinchuk still holding his lead as they come down the final stretch. Hrinchuk will win this one. 38:01, 38:13 for Sullivan. Hrinchuk almost 4/10ths faster than yesterday. As we are now on our 50th pair. Pair number 50, Bruno Olivier Brabant from Quebec in the inner lane. Ian Ansel from the United States in the outer. Aggressive downstart position from Ian Ansell. I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone downstart like that. Seems to work though, because he has the lead through the opening split 10-5, 10-7 for Brabant. Ian Ansell setting himself up for a big draft on this backstretch, as they will cross over. Ansell right on Brabant's tail into the last corner. He is struggling to hold it though. He keeps it together and comes out of the corner ahead. Brabant is coming on strong though, and it looks like Bruno Olivier Brabant will take this race. 38.66, 38.72 for Ansell. Both skaters a little slower than yesterday. So we have a look at our next pair. This is Rek van Hemert from the Netherlands in the inner lane, Eric Orlowski from BC in the outer. Van Emert and Orlowski at the line. And they are underway. Eric Orlowski in the outer lane will take this opener with his quick feet. 10-5 his opener. Van Emert 10-8. As they cross over in the backstretch, both skaters pushing hard into the final corner. And Rick Van Emert lost the opener, but he will win the lap and win the race as he comes down the final stretch. Quick strides at the end, his final time, 38.18. That's 4/10 faster than yesterday. 38.81 for Orlowski. As we look at our 52nd pair, this is Jordan Bertagnoli from Alberta and Stan van Gijsen from the Netherlands. Good start for both skaters down the first 100 meters. It's tight, but Van Gijsen will take the opener. 10-7, 10-9 for Bertagnoli. So Van Gijsen setting himself up for a big draft down that backstretch as he chases down his pair. Bertagnoli, though, accelerating. Let's see whether he can come around the outside and take this race. Jordan Bertagnoli will take it as they come to the line. His final time, 38.50. Van Gijsen, 38.79. Up next, Laurent Marcotte from Quebec in the inner lane. He's racing Christian Leipzig from Manitoba. So a cross Canada battle here. A clean start in our 53rd pair. Marcotte has the lead through 100. Is split time 10-4, 10-7 for Leipzig. Into the first corner, Marcotte having a little slip. See if he can recover as Leipzig will charge into the inner lane. Can Marcotte hold off Leipzig as they come down the finishing stretch? Neck and neck. Marcotte will likely take this race. His final time, 38.55, 38.70 for Leipzig. As we look at pair 54, this is Tyler Hartlib from Alberta in the inner lane. He's racing his provincial teammate, Dawson O'Brien. They're underway, both Alberta skaters coming through the first 100 meters. Openers, identical, 10.83. Anyone's race. Who has the faster lap? The opener in the 500 is important, but it's still only 1/5 of the race. As Tyler Hartlib has carved a big lead here as he will come to the line. Final time 38:21, 39:15 for O'Brien. Tyler Hartlib, if that time improved his time from yesterday by around half a second. Good race for Tyler Hartlib as we look at our next pair. This is Matthias Nageli from Switzerland in the inner lane and Ryan Dodick from Alberta in the outer. Ryan Dodick coming down the line. His skates crossing that line. See if the referees have anything to say about that. Opening split 10-1. Very quick opener for Ryan Dodick as he goes over the top of his pair. Nageli's opening split 10-9. See if Ryan Dodick can maintain this speed through the rest of the race as he comes into the finishing stretch, trying to stay on his feet. Ryan Dodick to the line. Final time 38:55, 39:19 for Nageli. You have a look at our 56th pair. 2 pairs to go before we break for an ice flood. Thomas Van Dyke from Alberta and Marvin Talsma from the Netherlands. And these guys are underway. It looks like Thomas Van Dyke taking the lead. 100-meter split, 10-7, 11-1 for Marvin Talsma. So Thomas Van Dyke will cross over on this backstretch and into the final corner. Talsma trying to gain ground, but Van Dyke, it's all Van Dyke in this race as he comes to the line. Thomas Van Dyke's finishing time is 38:44, 39:19 for Talsma. As we move on to our final pair before the flood. This is Matthew Laxton from Ontario in the inner, Mark Canvin from Manitoba on the outer. Mark Canvin's time on Thursday was a 39:40. Matthew Laxton 38:93. So expect Matt Laxton to take this race. Canvin will be chasing. Laxton's opener 10-6, 11-2 for Canvin. And as expected, Matt Laxton leading the way down the last 100. Matt Laxton chasing a personal best, 38:49. That's almost half a second faster than earlier in the week. Mark Canvin, 39:52. Just slower than on Thursday. As we look at our ice crews fixing up the start line with their Ghostbusters backpacks, pumping water onto the ice. That wraps up our second group of men's 500 meters. Stay tuned for more pairs 58 through 83 coming up. Remember to tweet at the Olympic Oval to see your picture or tweet up on the live webcast or on the simultaneous screens here at the Olympic Oval. You could win some free swag. Stay tuned for more action.